Welcome. It is Tuesday. Another Tuesday. It's, the 6th of April. And of course, it is another stream. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? So, today we have something actually pretty exciting. Of course, every day is exciting, of course. But today we have something new that we're gonna do. We basically, the last few times, we started sculpting the main sculpt, I guess, of the character that we're working on right now. So today what we're gonna do is we will continue with some hard surface sculpting, or not hard surface sculpting, rather what do you call it, hard surface modeling. So the last few days, I think we've been working on it for 8 days now, or no, hold on, for 7 days. So today what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on the arms. I'm gonna like finish the sculpt in itself, probably off screen at some point. So like the body, finish the body and finish the head. I want to give the head a little bit more detail. But what I want to do today is I will go over to the mechanical arms. So today we're going to start off, of course, with the mechanical arms. We're going to lay some groundwork, put in the basic shapes, and we'll see how far we get. I want to kind of explore some ideas I had on how it might look, how it will look in the end, how it could look in the end. The kind of feel I want to get in those mechanical arms. They can look very different depending on how you want to, of course, make them look. We're going to explore a little bit of that, look at a few inspirations, and then just start off by laying the groundwork. So, of course, before we do that though, first things first, as always, the good old quick sketch. Today's quick sketch number 64. I mean 65, even 65. Already 65. So it's always surprising to hit either 5 or 10, like every 5 steps or every 10 steps. Feels like it's going by so quick every day, so fast. So Blender's already open. I kind of have an idea. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna work. That idea kind of sprung into my head while I was working on the new month 2 compilation. I just started, so I'm not quite sure if I can finish it this week. We'll see. But yeah, I've been working on that, and I think I'm ready for the quick sculpt. Let's try a few things. Let's see if we can get something in 30 minutes, and then we can go over to the modeling of the arms. So music is ready. Where's my Blender? There it is. Oh, I can also show you I have a new background image for my desktop, like for my desktop background image. I switched it to yesterday's quick sketch. I liked it so much that I use it now as my background image. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. I also posted it on Instagram as a story post. Let's go to here, and then if I move this window, you can see, oh, there it is. You can probably not see all of it, but you can see the main part. I like the look, really. Like I really like the look of this image from yesterday. The shading with like the overall lighting that like covers his eyes, I think looks really cool. So I kind of thought about like putting that in there. I also added, like, because I usually use what is it, wallpaper engine. What I did was I just made it basically a custom wallpaper and added like some smoke that is just blowing in there, just to have it animated to some degree. And I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, that was everything I wanted to show before we start. Let's go to the quick sketch. Quick sketch Blender file is already open. So let me just quickly, I'm of course gonna use the dude again. I have 2 ideas. I'm not quite sure which one would be. We could probably try with the first one. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna do the second one. I think the second one is a little bit easier, or a little bit safer rather. So we're gonna do that. If the first one doesn't work, let me just quickly pull up the dude. There it is, 3D database, base mesh. There it is. Okay, perfect. I kind of you know, at some point I kind of want to rig my female character as well, but rigging takes so long. Maybe I'll just do a quick or a very rough, like I have the rig already, so I would probably have to adjust it to the female body that I have and then do weight painting, but still, like, it, I have to find some time to do that. That could really expand the possibilities of these quick sketches, because if I not only have a female, but I mean a male, but also a female model, that would open up so many new possibilities, because then, like, you don't only have like just one model you can work with, you have two, maybe there are going to be more. I already have one that is actually rigged and I could use, but not in this image, not on this, so we don't have to care about that now. Yeah, I'm ready. Timer's ready. Hopefully you are ready as well, of course, as always. So I would say 3, 2, 1, start. 30 minutes. There you go. Timer's going. Let's bring in the dude, of course. There you go. Penned. I need my good old human base mesh. There it is. Okay, so first of all, let's remove these things. There you go. Remove all of them. Okay, perfect. So first things first, what I want to do, so I want to give him some sort of pose, although I'm not quite sure. Hold on. So I kind of want to focus on his face. So what I want to do is probably put some emphasis on his face. Maybe make it super shocked. Huge eyes. There you go. Pull them down as well. Super huge eyes. There you go. Okay. Then raise his eyebrows. What I want to do though first is enable X-axis mirror. Then I can use one side to do both sides. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I think I pulled his forehead a little bit to the front. Okay, that looks better. Maybe we can pull it down a little bit, just so it's not too high. Okay. Oh, maybe even... Oh, hold on. I have to adjust the eyebrows just a little bit more. Let me just go back in here and reduce the resolution size. I think it's easier to work in here. It's just faster. Okay, then let's see. Let's go in here. We select these two. Oh, I have an idea what I'm gonna do. We pull it up. Pull it way up. We probably can't see the eyes in the end anyway, but whatever. Next up, we're gonna open up the mouth. Super wide. As wide as it can be. Pull down the lips. Okay, make sure they're still close. Okay, pull down this as well. Okay, I think that one thing my rig is lacking in is the mouth region. I think it could be done a little bit better. Maybe I could fix some of that, maybe some of that weight painting. I'm not quite sure what the problem was, but I kind of wanted to finish it at some point, of course, so I just stuck with what I had and wasn't really paying much more attention to it. So I kind of just stuck with what I had. That's basically what we have here. Okay, maybe the tongue as well. Let's see, maybe we rotate it like this. Yeah, it could probably still be like this in this position, so we can maybe even see it. He's looking up, perfect. Then I need his hands, so we pull his hands close. It's gonna be a close-up shot, so that's what we're going for. Looks pretty good so far. Yeah, his hands will be in the front. We need the X-axis mirror. No, we don't need it anymore. So it should be something like super painful hands, as if he's like in pain and trying to hold his head. So let's bring in the camera first, so we can actually see what we're like seeing in the end. I have to switch back to object mode. Go back here, pull the camera up. There you go, somewhere around there. Let's pull up the view, zoom in. Okay. Let's make the camera, of course, way smaller. Okay, maybe even pull it down a little bit so it's facing, or maybe from the top even. No, I think I'm gonna go to the bottom. Then next up, what I want to do is maybe rotate his face a little bit, or like pull it up. Yeah, that's better. Just a little bit, and then we can work with these hands. Okay. So that's good base pose. And now I'm gonna like not animate, but position these fingers. So usually what we could do here is go something like this. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, so okay, I've never really done like a super like painful expressionistic pose, I guess. So that's kind of new for me. So let's see if we can pull something out of the hat. Let's see. I think if I would do like a new rig, I would definitely pay attention more to the fingers. I think the fingers were one of the points that were lacking in this one. I think they're just too long, especially when it comes to the middle part. I think the end of the finger is just too long. So if I would ever do another rig, I would probably pay a little bit more attention to that. Okay. Maybe we could rotate his fingers so we can see the thumb. Okay. Let's see. Maybe we could go in here and make this a little bit. It's a little bit playing around with the handles. I'm not quite sure how exactly it's gonna look, but I have like a general idea. So that's just what I'm trying to hit in the end. Okay. I think the thumb could stay that way. Oh, happy manually. Hello. Hopefully you had a great day so far. Welcome. Working on my quick sketch today. Right now, I mean. First 30 minutes of the stream is going to be a quick sketch every day. So that's what I'm doing right now. So let's see the hand. I think this one can be a little bit more relaxed, but still like trying to reach his his head or his face. And then let's see. Let's keep it like this for now. I think we can still adjust it later. What I want to focus on first though, actually, can we? Yeah, I mean, we could probably duplicate this and then adjust it later if we need to. What I want to do first though is what do you mean with cartoons? Do you mean like Disney style or more like 2D, 3D? Hold on, let me fix my stuff. Okay. Or maybe even anime 2D. I mean, back in the day, SpongeBob was one of my favorite cartoons. Right now, I'm not really watching that much, but I definitely was probably one of the most I was a very avid cartoon watcher back in the day. How about you? I actually at some point did 2D animations, but that was a while back. Okay, so what I want to do now is I will go in here and apply the transformation. We have to do the same with the eyes. Apply. Okay, the tongue. Do we need the tongue? We need the tongue, maybe. Yeah, let's just bring it in. Oh, all the teeth as well. Let's see, can we just apply all of those? Apply. Yeah, I mean, You know, at some point I kind of thought about maybe dabbling in Blender 3D, basically 3D 2D animation, basically drawing in 3D, but basically doing the same process you would do for 2D animations with like stop motion footage. Maybe we'll do that at some point, just playing around with it, seeing how it works and what you can do with it. I think that's a cool thing, especially for sketching out a scene, or maybe just overall making a scene with just like sketch lines. I saw a few cool projects with that and it looked pretty cool. So maybe at some point we'll look into that. Okay, so let's go in here as well. We have to probably select all of this and then remove the parent. The problem is if I do that for the head, that should work. Clear parent and keep transformation. Now if we move the rig, it won't work. I mean, won't move the model. That's good. We have also the roof and the base of the mouth. Apply that. So we have to select all of these. Oh, wait, what happens if I would just remove or delete the rig? Oh, well, at least, okay, there, okay, looks like I kind of missed one of the teeth. Did I? Okay, perfect. So if I enable that, oh, perfect. Okay. So next up, what I want to do is go in here. Oh, hold on, I made a big mistake. Let's just remove all of this, because then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate my backup that I had. Good that I made a backup. Now it comes to my rescue. What is that? Wait, what? Okay, hold on. I did a big mistake. Oh no. Please let me go back far enough. I don't want to waste too much time. Oh no. Let's see. So I kind of deleted my base mesh. So what I did was I only have this resolution now. What if we go back to smooth? I don't think that's enough for this scene, or at least it isn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really, it's lacking some definition. So I'm kind of hesitant to use this. But where's my other base mesh that I had? Isn't that the one? Yeah, if I go in here now. Okay, perfect. We still have it. So perfect. Let's just remove this and then start over with this one. Oh, hold on. Enable, activate, select it, delete it, and there you go. Let's go back in here. And maybe we should duplicate this again. Okay, so first thing first, let's duplicate it just so we're safe, and we can do a mistake again. If we do, then we still have a backup. Perfect. So what I want to do is first of all go in here and put it to the highest resolution possible. There you go. We probably don't even need 4. Let's just stick with 3. I think that's easier. Maybe even 2. Yeah, I think 2 should be enough. Enable everything. Activate, or yeah, basically apply everything I meant. Perfect. Do the same for the teeth. Come on, give me the teeth. Next one. Just trying to do it as fast as possible, of course. We have 17 minutes left, so we still have some time to do other stuff like lighting and all that. But I'm not even done with the base model, so I kind of have to hurry a little bit. But it should be good. It's not like a super complex model, but I guess we have to stick with the first idea now, because we're probably not going to have enough time to do the second one, because the second one is a little bit more elaborate, I guess. So we're going to stick with this one. Apply everything. Okay, perfect. So hold on. Oh yeah, of course. Now let's go in here, and what about just removing... Oh, there's the teeth that I missed. Why? How did I... Oh, do I always miss this one? Wait, where's the teeth? The tooth. Oh, back there. There it is. Apply. Perfect. Now if I remove this, everything is in place. Perfect. So do I even need the teeth? That's the question. What if I remove them? What does that look like? I guess that looks kind of weird. So let's just try it how it is now. What I want to do is select everything. Everything that's in the mouth as well. I don't know if that's gonna screw everything up, but we'll see. Select everything. Perfect. Do the same on the bottom. Then oh wait, why is the teeth back up? I mean back down. I guess I haven't applied the stuff. I guess let's just do that now. Remove this and then pull it up. Shouldn't be too bad. Select everything again. Where's my dude? There it is. Okay. Do I have everything? The other eye, of course. And do we need anything else? Oh, the teeth at the bottom. We haven't selected those yet. Where are the pivot points for those? I don't even know. Let's just select them manually. Perfect. The other ones. There you go. I think the pivot point is somewhere in Nirvana. So that's why they're so screwed. Okay. Oh, that's why we can't select them. Now I should have everything. Perfect. Let's go back to the body and let's join everything. So everything is part of the same object basically. And then we can go in here and first of all save this. 14 minutes left. Shouldn't be too bad. Go quick sketches. Quick sketch. Day 65. Okay. Save that. Perfect. Okay. So, first of all, what I'm gonna do is, I need to use the self-fracture modifier, or like action, I guess. So let's just see what we get if we just apply it like this. This could be pretty, it could take a while because it's so dense. Oh, it's already freezing. Oh no, hopefully it's not too dense. So what I kind of want to do is I want to break him up into multiple pieces and then yeah, you'll see what I want to do. I want to break him up into multiple pieces that then are kind of disconnected from each other. We'll see what we get if this is actually going through. Maybe it's too dense, but it shouldn't be. Maybe the individual like teeth won't really be, maybe can't really be, what do we call it, separated into smaller pieces, but we'll see. Maybe, hopefully it works. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Maybe, yeah, let's see. I've done this today before, so I kind of have an idea what I want to get out of this. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if this resolution is high enough, or I mean not high enough, but rather too high for it to actually work. Still loading, still loading. If it's not done in I don't know, 30 seconds, or let's give it maybe like a minute. So 11 minutes and 30 seconds is when I'm gonna cut it. Let's see. I think I've never done, like I've never just waited while I was doing a quick sketch. I was always just trying to get, like, do everything as fast as possible and never really had time to just wait. I would of course would like to do something, but right now we have to wait. So let's see if that's gonna actually work. Oh no, it only has 30 seconds left, not even. Let's see if it's gonna beat it. 15 seconds. Oh no, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no. Wait, did I? No. Okay, well, I guess we have to do something else. I'm not quite sure if we can... oh, we could probably... Let's see. We could probably just first of all pull up, of course, my quick sketch. I'm happy that I saved it. Let's see if it works without the teeth. So I'm just gonna delete the teeth. That's of course a little bit, oh, perfect, it's still selected. So just selecting all the teeth and then deleting all of it. Oh, maybe not the, oh no, I have the tongue selected as well. I guess we'll keep that. Oh wait, why is, oh. Okay, hold on. Select this, every single tooth. Perfect. Do the same on the other side. Then down here, I want to select every single tooth. I don't need the mouth bed, I guess it's called, or I'm gonna call it that. So everything like the teeth and the bed can go away. Delete the vertices, perfect. There's some, oh, hold on. Is there something left? Yeah, there is. I guess we have to, oh no, there's just a little bit left, so we can probably go in here and fix those. Select them and delete them. Okay, is that everything? Oh, there are a few more up here. Oh no, is that the wrong one? Yep, it is. Please just let me select this. Okay. Where's my... There it is. Oh, there's a little bit left right there. That's of course an... Oh, let's just go in here and revert the change. Then select a little bit more. I think that's easier than just selecting everything individually. Come on. There it is. Let's just go ahead and do a little bit more. Maybe go into X-ray mode to see if everything is 100% selected. Looks good to me. So let's delete vertices. Perfect. Let's go back. I'm not quite sure if the tongue is too... Wait, hold on. Okay, the tongue is pretty low res, so that should work. Let's see how it works now. The eyes might be pretty high res. That could be the problem. Okay, that's quite high res. I mean, let's just try. Cell fracture. Okay. Let's see if that works. We have 8 minutes left, so that could be quite risque to do this now. Or like, I mean, that is basically the main idea that I had, so let's hope that it works. If not, then I guess we just have to improvise. I'm gonna give it like let's give it like, I'm not quite sure, like, let's give it until 7, no, yeah, until 7, let's give it a minute, and we'll see. Let me drink something real quick. So what it basically does is it creates a block around the object, and then it uses a Boolean modifier. No, it creates a block and then splits that block using, or into, splits that block into multiple pieces using a Voronoi texture, and then it uses these individual pieces to detect where these pieces intersect with the model, and basically booleans them into individual pieces. Basically, where they connect or where they intersect, that's one piece. So it's not looking good. So, oh no. Let's see what we can do here. Let's close this. Let's see, let's do that again. Never had that, never had a quick sketch fail before. Let's open it up. Let's see, maybe we can do something different here. Let's see, let's go into rendered view. We should remove the world lighting first, and then of course the materials. Go to blend file, materials, delete this, delete, perfect. View layer, okay. Let's go to the world. Remove this light right there, don't need it. Go to the world light setting. We already are. Go in here, put this to black, this to black as well. And then put in some light, I guess. Point light. Move that. Oh. Let's see. We put this to a nice small radius. Very, very small. Put it somewhere maybe. Okay, that looks kind of weird. Let's move it around a little bit and see what we get. So, okay, I guess 5 minutes. Let's do something with this. Maybe we could put this a little bit brighter. Maybe put this to 25 strength. Give it a little bit more strength. Okay, maybe go in here and make this smooth. Okay, that's better. We use a cube, given some atmosphere. Okay. Put this to wire and then shading object new and set this to shader principal volume. Put the volume into the volume socket, of course. Put this to white and then the density a little bit less. Actually, it looks kind of okay like this, but I kind of want to change this first. Put this to a spotlight, rotate it to him, and then maybe change the cone size. Okay. Put the blend low, maybe not too low, or actually it could be pretty high, like this. Oh, I have an idea, hold on. Then we move it a little bit more closer. So we get this nice weird like cast shadow coming like from the bottom and then like going up, so you can see the shadow right there. I like that. But I kind of don't like how his hands are going to be lit up. Let's move it around a little bit. Let's bring it back to where it was before. I think that's better. Maybe we can bring in something a little bit different. Something pretty abstract. We use a cube. Probably. No, let's use a cylinder. Rotate it on the y-axis by 90 degrees. Make it very, very small. No, not like this. Scale not on the x-axis. Move it up. Scale not on the x-axis. There you go. Then we move it down. Okay. Make it even thinner. And then we make a new material which will be emissive. We use an emission shader. Put that emission into the surface. Perfect. We put this. We can keep it at white probably. Yep. Then let's see. Rotate it a little bit. Oh, rotate it on the y-axis. Okay, let's do one more, maybe even two more. Oh, I have an idea. What if we put this down here? Oh, that looks kind of interesting. Kinda. We can't really see the light though, but we can probably do that in post. Let's leave it like this. Let's save it. We have 1 minute 57 left. Do we have anything we could do in here? I mean, we could probably give this a little bit more strength. How about 10? 10 could work. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. What about removing this? Okay. Oh, hello. Interesting. The only problem is we don't really have anything. I mean, let's go. What about putting this a little bit more to the front? Doesn't look too bad, to be honest. What about using another light? Or actually, let's go in here and increase the strength. What about 50? No, that's definitely too high. What about going back to 10 and then using a spotlight? Where's my spotlight? There it is. Rotate it by 90 degrees. There you go. Move it down. Move it to the side. Make it small, the radius. Of course, the cone as well. And then move it back. Of course, we have to make it a little bit brighter. So let's put this to 50, let's say. Let's say maybe even more. Maybe how about 75? I like to stay in these quarter values. I don't know why. Let's do the same on the other side. Rotate it by 180 degrees. There you go. Doesn't look too bad. I think we made the best out of the situation. Maybe it looks even better than what we had before. Just changing the blend. Perfect. 8 seconds. Yeah, we'll keep it like this. Okay, perfect. Let's save it. We can hopefully do a little bit more in post. We should probably maybe change the lighting. I mean, the positioning a little bit. That's better. He was a little bit like off center, or yeah, off center basically. There was a little bit more room at the top. I think that's better. Let's keep it like this. I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's save it. Quick sketch day 65. And let's do the first render. Of course, we need a little bit more render samples for this one, because it's pretty dark. If you have less light, you need more samples. So let's do the render image. Let's see what it looks like. Of course, you can't see it right now. Let me enable or show you what it looks like. Render result still rendering, of course. Where's my second window? It always opens second window when you render. That's why I always see what's happening and you may not, but now you should see it as well. Perfect. Okay, let's see. First of all, what I want to do. Wait, the light is still there. Oh no. Okay, we have to do another render. I was kind of confused why it's so bright. Okay, that's better. That's more focused. Let's see. Of course, the image isn't like super great or whatever, but well, we made the best out of the situation, I think. So we can't really expect more. Let's go to the post-production. Of course, the only thing we basically always put in here is the glare node, just to make the glow, like the glowing a little bit stronger, the emissive objects. What if we put this to 0.1? That's probably too much. Oh no, it looks pretty good. Okay, perfect. Let's keep it like this. Then we save it one more time. We render it with 100% resolution and then maybe even more samples. How about the same, or 32 times 4? Let's render it again. Then we can go over to Photoshop, do the final post-production, and then we can go over to the main project. I think I'm quite confident that we can finish this actually pretty quickly. Although if I think about it, we still have to do quite a lot. I'm still thinking about how we're gonna do the texturing. I think we're gonna do most of the texturing through procedural textures, and then maybe we'll, I don't know, use sculpting or other methods to, I don't know, just add a little bit more of custom magic to it. Yeah, we're gonna first of all, of course, today see what we're gonna do with the arms, how we're gonna design those, and then we'll see how far we get in the next few streams, if we need like a lot of streams just to finish the arms. I think the arms don't need too much detail, but I kind of want to still like get that mechanical feel in there. So it's probably not like super like a lot of work, but it's still like it takes a while to finish them. And this is also one of the first render, or I mean one of the first projects that I actually do with actual hard surface modeling. I basically did one before where I kind of cheated though when it comes to hard surface sculpting. I basically did hard surface modeling, not hard surface sculpting. I sculpted the whole thing before, like I made a helmet and I sculpted the whole thing before I then retopologized it and basically created the final version, which is, we could probably do that for hard surface stuff as well. But usually what you do is you have either a layout or like a sketch where you work off of, and then you create all of the whole model through that, or I think you can also do it through like plain modeling. So maybe even starting off from a cube, or maybe starting off from primitives and then going into more and more detail. Usually what I mean with hard surface modeling is not using the sculpting tools. Okay, let's save that. 65 PNG, what is called, of course, quick sketch, the day 65 1920 by 1920. Okay, perfect. Let's save the file once more and then let me import it to Photoshop. Let me remove the timer. I don't need the timer anymore. We will go over to Photoshop in a second when I imported my file. There you go. Let me switch to Photoshop. Da-da-da. Perfect. Okay, so first of all, let's see what we have for color lookups. That's probably the easiest thing we can do. Actually, we don't really need color lookups because there is no color. So I think the best way to actually fix or like change the image would be to use a selective color correction, the selective color correction adjustment layer, and then just tweak the black, gray, and whites. What I'm going to do first is probably introduce a little bit more black. I kind of want to keep the head separated from the background though, so we can't add too much black, but that looks pretty good. Hold on, let me, oh. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to maybe 12%, so we can see the whole image a little bit more from far back. That kind of helps keep everything like visible even when you're further away. Okay, yeah, I kind of want to have good highlights, but everything else should be pretty black. Yeah, for the whites, doesn't really do much. You can bump it up maybe a little bit, and then go back to the gray tones and dial it back a little bit, so we can still see what is actually happening. I think that is pretty okay. Yeah, I guess the best we can do with what we have, we'll maybe bring in some contrast as well. That could probably even be, oh, of course, full contrast is probably too much. Maybe going with something more like 39 could be a pretty okay. Okay, and then we will go to my good old fingerprint texture that is always in every image. I kind of wanted to do a bright images again, so which like similar to the one I did yesterday, but seems like I resorted back to a dark image. I don't know, I kind of always go back to dark images with these. I don't really know why, but I think it's probably just because we don't have to set up that many lights in the scene for these. It's also, I don't know, like for That wasn't really the case for the yesterday's image, quick sketch, whatever. For that I only used like one real light in the scene, but I don't know. For me, it's just seems easier to come up with something when it's like a dark scene. I'm not quite sure why. Need my, there it is, perfect. Pull it in, and then put it to this thing here, the mix mode. First things first. Oh, zoom out. Change the size. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty okay. Let's see. We can probably fix it a little bit. Oh, hold on, I pressed the wrong button. T's right next to Z. So I kind of got confused. Yeah, I think that's better. We don't need that much noise in the scene, so that should be better. We should probably put this to something more like 50% transparency. I think that's better. Just gives it a little bit of grunge, which helps makes it look a little bit more like tangible, or like as if you can touch it, because it's like, so it has like grunge on it. Like similar to a Polaroid image. So that's basically the effect. And also it kind of looks like there's some stuff flying in the air in the scene itself. Let's save the PSD. Quick sketch day 65. Of course, the last percent always takes a while. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. Still, it's still saving. I should really look into some sort of, what would you call it? Some sort of, way to allocate more RAM to Photoshop. Look at this, it takes ages. What is going on? It's not even like a huge file. Okay, finally. Project, nope, that's the wrong folder. Need to go to my Blender projects. There you go. Okay, so of course, while I upload this, I will go ahead and play my compilation of the first month. Hopefully next week I'll have the compilation for the second month. I am not quite sure if that's going to be doable, but we'll see. Oh, it's saved again, but whatever. Just gonna import my image to my phone real quick. Then I'm gonna play the compilation while I upload my image, and then we can go right into today's actual topic. There it is, JPEG. Let me switch back to Blender. I can probably also already open my today's file, or the file we're working on right now. It's still saving, dude. What is going on? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Okay, open recent. There it is, perfect. There it is. Okay, we can see we finished. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to do. We finished the sculpt yesterday, or at least like we finished connecting all the pieces except for the foot, the hand, and the arm. I disconnected those because they aren't part of the original sculpt, so those will be mechanical arms. For the foot, I kind of want to adjust the right leg a little bit. I think it's a little bit off center. This would be the leg that would like carry the weight and where she would stand on. Right now it's kind of off center, which kind of would mean that she would just fall over. I want to fix that, and yeah, I think it's done saving now. Perfect. Are we okay? Perfect. Let me play the scene. Yeah, almost closed OBS. That wouldn't be a good idea. Oh, hold on. I have to import the file, of course. There it is. Into my phone. Instagram 2021. Perfect. Okay. So, it's on my phone. And I would say quick sketch compilation month 1 ready to be played. Let's pause the music. I'll upload and you enjoy the compilation. So have fun. Barely made it. Let's bring in the music. Okay, perfect. I just hit... Oh, I'm not even done. Hold on. Okay, now I'm done. Perfect. Was just about to hit post. Well, when the last scene was going, or when the last scene came up. Okay, perfect. Let's get to today's topic. So, we're gonna do some mechanical arms. We're gonna look first at some inspirations, and then we can start with the basics. Of course, we're gonna lay out some basics first, then we can go into more and more detail. Let me just quickly go back to my... Where is it? There it is. Month March. There it is. Okay. Okay. So, how do we do this? I guess I'll just pull up the images into my my blend file. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So this way I can always show them to you if we need to, or if I want to. So I guess we'll start. So I kind of want to collect some inspiration first, or like I already saved some references. So I'm gonna decide which ones are going to be the most important ones, or the ones that will lead the design process the most. I guess one that really came to mind, or one that is like similar to the idea that I had, is this one. This one is basically a full, how do you call it? A full mechanization of the sculpt. This one's from Michelangelo, I think. David, he's called. We also have a few more. This one, for example, we can see it's fully like cyberpunkified, basically. It's already this. I mean, this is the same sculpt as this, so that's kind of funny to see. Those were one of the first inspirations I found when it came to sculptures that were mechanified. I also found one more where let me pull it up. Where is it? There it is. This one is kind of like, the interesting thing about this one, this may not really be really a mechanization. It's more a, how do we call this? It's not really mechanical parts, it's more organic parts. It looks more organic. It looks more like she has some sort of like lizardy skin, but it still has some aspects to it that I kind of want to keep in my sculpt as well. So one thing being these very smooth surfaces, and then the separations of individual parts of the body. You can see, of course, for her it's very, very detailed, but if you go back to the other ones, I think for the other ones it was the case as well. You can see like some body parts were basically like as if they were screwed on, suggesting that they are just mechanical and they're like built from smaller pieces. So that's one aspect I kind of want to keep in the sculpt or in my model. What I also want to keep in there is that I kind of want to keep it very smooth, very very modern when it comes to the mechanical parts. So for example, this one is of course just a concept art, but in here you can see like the very, very smooth surfaces, very, very, very small what do we call them, seams between these individual pieces, so it very looks like one unit. You can, for example, in contrast, see the arms of one of Cyberpunk's main characters, which is Johnny Silverhand. His arms are more rigid and more, I guess, how could you call it, like more bruised or more yeah, whatever. You can see like each individual, like they're not as clean. There's no cover that could cover up these inner workings. You can really see like stuff like the cables or the mechanical muscles, I guess, all these going to where they need to go. There's no cover that is just covering this. Of course, you can see some plates probably for protection or for stabilization, but there isn't really like, there wasn't really a focus on aesthetics, more on functionality. If you combine, or if you compare it to this one, for example, this is also from Cyberpunk, which is a more glamorous character. For her, she has like these very sleek and covered up mechanical arms. She's basically a full robot, of course. You can see chromed up, ready for the future. But for her, for example, you can see I like this really very much, where you can basically have a glass cover or a glass plate where you can see through to the center, and this way it's still smooth, or it's still like the outside is still smooth, the silhouette is still smooth, but you can see through on this part and see the inner workings. I think that looks really cool. So I will probably implement some of this into the sculpt. What I also like is an Overwatch character, actually. Let me just bring it in. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. let me just the one from the YouTube stream thumbnail, you can see right there. You can see this one's very clean. Like you can see all the clean lines, not much detail when it comes to the surfaces. There's just hold on, let me just quickly check. Okay, perfect. You can see like very not many parts to it, very smooth details, not really, or I mean smooth surfaces, not really that much detail on the surfaces. Very clean, and still like keeping the shape that they are like trying to imitate the human body with the arms, for example. What I also like with this one are these spherical ankles. I kind of want to probably combine them with the other ones from Johnny Silverhand, not Bronze Hand, but Silverhand. There you go. With these, so you have two different ways of creating an ankle, not an ankle. How do you call? Let me just quickly pull it up. A joint, of course, a joint. There are different ways to create joints, of course. Of course, there are different joints in the body itself. But if you do like mechanical parts, of course, you can be a little bit more, I guess, you're more free in your design. For this one, they kind of kept I think the original kind of way of how joints are. So if you, for example, go in here, let's make a plane real quick, a small drawing board so we can draw on it. Let's put that over here. So what you have is, first of all, let me go in here and use my annotation pencil, put this to surface. Okay, now we can paint on here. You can see it's right on there. So you have different joints, of course. So one of them is, the first one that comes to my mind is the one that is like a ball that goes like this, and then you have the other side of the joint. For every joint you have two sides to it. You have one side and you have the other. So this one is quite obvious what it does. Or let's paint it in 3D. I think this is easier than to see what I actually mean. So we have the ball right there like this, and then you have the ball at the bottom. And then you have the joint, the other side of the joint, which will look more like this. Oh, that's very far. Whatever. Like this. So what this joint is basically doing is, this joint is basically open for every direction. It can rotate in every direction, like in every direction that it wants. Then you have another joint, which is more like, if you have the joint like this going down, you then have a cylinder that moves like this. Oh well, that's one too much, like this. And then you have the other side of the ankle, or the joint rather, that is more looking like this. So you can have both sides, and then of course like this. I think that's the joint you have in the elbow. There are multiple, not only these two, but these are, I think, are the ones that I'm going to focus on. These two are, so what this one does is it can't, for example, this one can rotate in every direction. This one cannot rotate like this. You can see if it would do that, it would just block itself because it's like a full surface. There's nothing like to roll off of. What it can though is it can rotate in this direction. So it has a reduced rotation, like a reduced what is it called? A reduced rotation spectrum compared to this one. This one is a full 180-degree spectrum. Of course, it has its limits when it comes to this part of the joint. Like the long thing would probably at some point touch the rim right there, but in general it can rotate in every direction. This one can only rotate like forward and backward, basically, not to the side. There are a few more, one that can like, that is kind of mixed between the two, and a few more. Well, those are the two main ones that that we can use for the arm. This one, for example, the hand is a little bit different. I think for the hand you have this weird like, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna paint it in a 2D view. You have this weird thing, I think that's for the hand, and then you have something similar like this for the bottom. This thing, what it can do is it can still rotate in this direction, but just very limited. It can't go too far. What it can do though is it can go like this. So it's basically a hybrid between the two. It is round, but it's also a little bit wider than long, which means it has more rotation. Like it has the same rotation that this joint has, with the added benefit of a small rotation in this direction as well. That is basically for the hand. So for the hand, we can still look at what we want to do. For example, this joint is going to be used for the shoulder right there. This joint can be used for the elbow, and this joint could be used for the hand. What we can use this for is for the design of the arm. For example, you can see I set the comparison already. Well, let's go in here. You can see, okay, well, let's not do that then. You can see this ankle or this joint is very different compared to the other one, to this one. You can see this one is just a round ball, so this one could probably rotate in every direction. Maybe not, maybe even more than I can do right now, because I have to rotate my lower arm. I mean, my upper arm to actually, so I cannot, like when I have it right like this, I cannot move my arm up. All I can do, or rotate my arm up, all I can do is move it like this. What I have to do to move it like this is I have to rotate my, oh sorry, I have to rotate my lower arm as well, so I can do this. So with this ball joint, you could probably rotate in every direction without having to rotate your upper arm as well. This is of course a little bit more abstract, so I'm kind of still debating what I should do for the arm joint. I will probably stay with, of course we can still do a mix if we want to like do an asymmetrical design. We can do that. I'm probably going to do some asymmetry, but I think I'm going to do the base very the same. The detail or mid-level detail will be more asymmetrical, stuff like the glass panel where you can see through to the inside. Maybe I'm going to just put to one side of the arm. So that's going to be asymmetrical. We'll see. The base will definitely be symmetrical. So let's see. We have these two. This one is probably going to be the inspiration for the cleanness of the arm itself. So why I want to do a very clean mechanical arm, it's just because if you look at the sculpt itself, it's very like it's very soft, it has very smooth surfaces, and I kind of want to keep this aesthetic of like a human body. If I do stuff like here with Johnny Silverhand, you can see that is like way more rigidness and way more harsh edges that of course a human body would have. If you compare it to maybe not even this one, I mean maybe this one as well, but rather compared to this one, you can see like it basically is, it looks, the silhouette is kind of, or it's basically the arm of just a human, just with the added like features of like chromatic, like a chrome texture on it, or what else, like lights and a few mechanical parts which don't really change the silhouette though. Like these small antennas don't really change the silhouette. If you zoom back, you can't really see them anyway. So I kind of want to keep it very clean, but then add like smaller or medium details that then add more to the what do you call it, to the mechanical aspect of the arms. So these ones, this one, no, let's choose the other one. The other one has arms. Where's the other one? Give me the other one. There it is. What I like with this one is the separation between the different parts. So for example, he or she, or they, whatever, they have kind of separated the different plates depending on, or like they have separated them by muscle groups. So you have the bicep right there, you have the lower arm, I'm not quite sure what the muscle's called. The tricep is separate, the chest is separate, all the individual ab muscles are separate as well, just to suggest basically to still keep the structure of the sculpt the same. So you can still kind of see each individual muscle group, but you can still, like, you can still see the muscles, but you also can see that they're like mechanized. I think this one is a little bit too mechanical for me. I think I want to go a little bit cleaner, still keep probably a few of these separations though. For example, for the hand, I kind of thought about maybe doing like levitating hands that are only connected through a magnet kind of system, maybe, so they're actually flying, or maybe we'll do that for the hands. We'll see. First things first, of course, we will do the base. So we have the arms ready to go. Where are my arms? That's the lower arm. Oh, that's the cloth. We don't need the cloth right now. That's a plane at the bottom. There's an upper arm. That's the first one. Where's the other one? Did I delete the other one? Hopefully not. Let's see, that's the backup I still need. Where's the other one? Is that the one? There it is. Okay. You can see, so let me just color this real quick. I think that's easier than to see. Let's put this to random. Perfect. Okay, now we can actually see some colors. So we can see what is like one object and what isn't. You can see like this is an individual object. You can see all these fingers are individual, except they have the same color. I don't really know why, or almost the same color. You can see this arm separated from this. This is basically because of the base mesh that I created. The base mesh was of course the base mesh was made out of individual parts, so I can pose the character and first of all focus on the actual proportions. Now that that's done, I can combine all these pieces. As you can see, the legs were also separated. After I finished the sculpting and the detail work, I put them also into the base sculpt, which is this purple right there. What we're going to do now is we first, of course, fix the first leg because it's off center, and then we're going to go into the arms. We have already the shape of the arm is already set, so we can work off this, maybe put in a little bit more detail. Do the first shape, and then we'll go to the next part, which will be adding more and more detail. So let's go first. Let me grab my graphics tablet. Okay. So first things first, we're gonna change the leg. I think I can make the bootay a little bit wider. If you look at from this angle, it looks very, very flat. I think we can fix a little bit of stuff. Shouldn't take too long. I don't want to spend too much time on this. So once we have this leg fixed, I want to go straight into the rest of the sculpt. What I also want to go is back to here, just so we have the reference pulled up. Let me just quickly pull up my reference that I had, and we can go right into it. Okay. And as I said yesterday, I kind of don't just want to, what do you call it? Shoutcast my stuff. I would rather talk about something else. So maybe let's talk about, first of all, what we did yesterday. Yesterday we, of course, did stuff like fixing a few like stuff like fixing the arms. We separated the arms and all that. Basically getting the scope ready for retopology, which means giving the whole thing a more organized topology. Right now it is very like disorganized. You can see it just consists of triangles which are just scattered around the object in some random way. That is just the, I guess, deficit of using dynamic topology. Dynamic topology doesn't really care about good geometry. That is what you do afterwards. And that's what we're gonna do, or what I'm gonna do at some point. Let's just keep it like this. I think that's okay, acceptable. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the leg. The easiest way to do that is we can use the pose tool. If we then use a mask, we can mask out this leg right there. We probably have to remove some of the mask, but that shouldn't take too long. And yeah, we talked a little bit more about we talked about whether or not humanity is actually is actually useful for Earth or not. Whether or not if humans would be extinct, if that would actually be a bad thing for humanity. And we also talked about the lore of Attack on Titan. I discovered that you could probably create a whole wall, or like if you would print out like if you would print out the whole lore or the whole storyline of Attack on Titan, you could probably build a whole wall out of it. And like at some point I kind of wanted to look it up, and I kind of found out that like I was on Quora, I think it was. The question was basically, can someone summarize the lore of Attack on Titan? Someone kindly responded and pasted in like millions, or maybe not millions, but like you definitely had to scroll down quite a lot until you were at the end of the post. The person, I think, had to they had to do multiple answers so they can actually fit in the whole answer that they wanted to give, which was kind of crazy. So I didn't really get my answer, what really the lore is, but somebody kindly explained it to me, and I kind of understand it, or understood it. Very, very rough, but yeah, that was definitely very interesting. Like it didn't even seem like I knew Attack on Titan from 4, but I didn't know that there are like that many, that there's like this super deep story behind it. And it always looked kind of simple to me, like the whole concept of you have the city where you have these big walls, and sometimes Titans attack the wall and infiltrate the city and eat humans. So I wasn't really sure what I'm getting into, and then to get this like wall of text was definitely very interesting. I kind of like these very like these pieces that don't really seem as if they're like super deep, but then if you look more and more into it, you can see, oh my god, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's still like interesting. I think that's really cool. That's also one of the favorite things to discover in games, like when you start a new game, and then you see, okay, so first you just start off with something very simple, and then you go more and more into it, and you see, oh my god, this connects with this, and this connects with this. I can do this to do this. I can do this to do this, and all that. I think that's really cool. And like games that don't like throw the depth at you, but rather feed it to you the more, or you deeper you get into it. I think that's one of those are one of the greater games, or like the greatest aspects to games that games can have, if they like not only like give you more. I think it's cooler if you can see the balance of knowledge while you play through the game, basically. So you can see like, oh, they planned you to, I don't know, get this item at this point, and they like for example, once you get this item, you discover a whole new world of stuff you can craft, for example, or other stuff you can do, which enables you to get further into the game and progresses you further. I think that's really cool, seeing how you uncover more and more and more of the world and how it connects and what you can do in it. And like, especially when it, I think the game that did it the best was the forest. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but once you start the game, like, it just seems like a usual like survival game, but the more you get into it, it gets more and more crazy when it comes to what you actually do, or where you get to. And like, I always like just thought that the forest was just a survival game where you can just go in there and like build your house, get your house getting destroyed by some sort of weird mutants, and yeah, all of that. But then I discovered, like, the more you look into it and the more you actually maybe even read through all the letters that you get and all that, you see actually that there's like this whole, maybe even hidden storyline that you can uncover. And the more you go into it, the more leads you'll find, the more the more you progress, and it's all just hidden underneath this very, very basic survival game. And yeah, it's really crazy. And the best thing is, you couldn't even discover what you discover if you wouldn't know, if you would just play it as a survival game. If you would just play it as a survival game, you would never really uncover what is actually the main aspect of the game, which is really cool. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to be very vague with this. Yeah, I think right now she should have a little bit more. And we could probably move it over a little bit more, but let's see. I want to see the sculpt. I kind of want to keep it close to the sculpt. So we can probably move it over a little bit more. Yeah, let's keep it like this. I think that's pretty good. We have to adjust the cloth so we don't forget it later. So I'm just going to do that now. And then we can go over to what we actually want to do today. Wait, is that a little bit too loud? Ah, looks pretty good. Okay. Let's go to sculpt. Oh. Go to sculpt. Okay. We also thought about, or how we got to Attack on Titan was we kind of talked about the question whether or not animals have rights. We played around with that a little bit. That is because I mentioned that we previously kind of discussed a little bit, like a few philosophical questions. I think that's one of the best things you can do if you don't have something, I guess, to talk about. I kind of want to keep my stream very, very talkative, or like engaging, even if you don't watch. This way, I think, like, if you don't watch, you can still like get some value out of the stream. That is kind of my thinking. Maybe you're working on something you're on your own, and you kind of just want to do that. You maybe don't just want to watch me do my work. So kind of figured that it would be a good thing to not only do my work, but also kind of talk about stuff which not only adds more value, but also probably a little bit more entertaining or interesting. Not only to see something visually, but also to get something out of it if you don't look. Get something through hearing. That's why I don't really like shoutcasting what I do, because that doesn't really add much. Just yeah, shoutcasting what I do, which doesn't really convey any value or any entertainment, whatever you want to get out of it. That's also why I do the philosophical questions. As I said before, philosophical questions are meant to be discussed. This way we can talk about them, think about them, maybe come to different conclusions, discuss them, and all that will make the whole thing a little bit more interesting. So I changed the sculpt, the cloth as well now. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit closer to the body now, which is good. Or the foot, I moved it over, of course, so I had to move the cloth over as well because it was pretty close to the body. Perfect. Maybe a little bit closer right there. Could be pretty good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll leave it like this for now. We can go back to it later if we need to. Okay, so next up, let's go to the arms. Perfect. Let's save this real quick and let's start. So I'm probably not gonna use my graphic tablet for this. Just gonna do my good old mouse modeling. Okay, let's see. So first things first, I think what I'm going to lay out first is I'm going to think about the ankles first. So of course you can see, or the connections, you can see the connection between the sculpt itself and the mechanical arms kind of need some sort of connection. How are the mechanical arms connected to the sculpt? So we can kind of think about that, how those are connected. We could do some sort of socket where they are just socketed in. Maybe they're built into the sculpt itself. What I want to do first though is I want to kind of separate these pieces into individual like I kind of want to make them more clean, if you want to call it that. So what we, for example, have to pay attention to is when it comes to hard surface sculpting is, hard surface modeling is, for example, for these extreme poses for the arm, for example, you can see it kind of intersects with each other. So if this arm is very like hard surface, there's no bending, no like if you for example move your arms together, they're just gonna press against each other and then deform, so that they're not gonna like be rigid and not move at all. So if this arm will be like fully hard surface or hard or rigid, we have to pay attention to the joint region, because if someone does like very big poses, for example right here you have a very wide or a very short angle, meaning there's a lot of intersection. We have to kind of mitigate that through the design of our mechanical arms. I think I'm going to do the other side first, because this one is a little bit more relaxed. So let's go in here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to start by using a plane. Whereas, yeah, let's just grab a plane, and then I'm going to do basically the same process that I do for my retopology. Let's make this smaller. Okay, so I saw a cool speed art today, or like what do you call it, like yeah, I guess you could call it speed art, of someone doing a sword for the game Destiny 2, and I think they played, or they kind of used some features or some aspects of game models, basically grabbing them from the game and then reusing them, or like connecting them into this piece into a new piece, basically. How do you call it? There's a certain word for it in concepting, where you just grab individual pieces and connect them into a new object, basically. I can't remember what it's called. Let me maybe drink something and maybe then I know it. Okay. Still don't know it. What it didn't help. Whatever. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, oh, I had it on my tongue what I wanted to say, but basically grabbing different pieces from different models and then putting them together into a new piece to create something completely new. I think that is kind of a cool process. So I kind of thought about doing that at some point as well, kind of exploring how you can grab the in-game models and then using those to create new pieces. Yeah, maybe I will explore that at some point. Right now, of course, we're gonna go and work on this. This will be like a project that will probably be that we're gonna work on probably like the whole month, and then we could probably also work on it the next month, because the deadline is gonna be at the end of the month, or next month, the end of next month. But I think we don't need that much time. So as you can see right there, I enabled snapping, which lets me snap this plane to the surface of this arm. So if I move this now, you can see it's snapped and it's now on the surface. What I want to do though is I want to individually snap all these vertices to the surface. So if I now go in here and scale this, it snaps to the surface and it's on the surface. I enabled in front, which means the surface is always in front whether or not there's something in front of it. Which means if I make this very, very small and I move it, hold on. I go to this side, for example, you can still see the plane because it's just going through every surface. It's always going to be in front, of course. That's why it's called in front. Yeah. So let me just do a quick geometry, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail. So yeah, I think this sort of concepting is really cool to create like models or images really quick. I think that's a cool way to work, a quick way to work, of course, as well. That's kind of what I wanted to try at some point. So yeah, I'm probably going to look into it a little bit more, how you can do, like how you can basically grab the models from any game. I saw a video to it at some point, but I can't really remember what it was called. I think it was literally just called like how to rip or how to grab every a model from any game. I'm gonna look into it a little bit later. I think what I'm gonna do here, actually I can't. I mean, I could probably now. Let's go. So you can see the other mesh is kind of blocking my sight right now. I can probably hide it soon, but right now I can't because I kind of want to get this connection right between the sculpt arm and the mechanical arm. I think that is pretty good. Now I can basically just go in here and... Oh, that's the wrong one. We're not going to go in sculpt mode. And hide it. Perfect. Now we see where the arm starts, and we can go and bring in some more geometry to this side. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in how that works, and just like doing really quick pieces by connecting, or that's basically what I do for my quick sketches. I just look through my old reference, or not references, but my old pieces right now, grab them and create new pieces out of them. One of the most prevalent, I think you can call, pieces where I did this was for yeah, one of my quick sketches where I basically grabbed like a jacket a bone head or like a skull of an animal, and just armor pieces and all that I created at some point, grabbed them, put them into the quickscape, and then dressed up my dudes basically with all these pieces. That is what I did there, and that was actually like pretty fun. So I kind of want to do that again, maybe a little bit more elaborate, actually create something completely new out of what I want to grab. And the best way to get a lot of models would probably be to grab them from games. So this is going to be the first part. You can see we have the upper arm. We can do then the lower arm. I kind of want to stay there for now when it comes to going any further. I want to do the lower arm first, and then I'm going to figure out the ankle. Once we have the ankle, we can go into more detail when it comes to this region, because right now I kind of want to I haven't really figured out yet how I want to do it. So let's just do the lower arm first, and then we can go into more detail with the joint, not the ankle. Yeah, so I also have to kind of look into whether or not that is actually legal to do, basically ripping or grabbing models from games and just using that for your own projects. I'm not quite sure if that's actually like a thing you're allowed to do. I know that there's a subreddit, or no, a Discord for all the models, all the 3D models from Destiny 2, the game. So there's a Discord where every single model will be uploaded. I think even with textures and shaders and all that. So I could grab some from there. Yeah, but I'm not quite sure if that is actually like, if you're in safe harbor doing that. So I have to look into that a little bit before I actually do it, because I kind of want to stay safe with everything. Like if you look at the whole DMCA fiasco at Twitch, you can kind of see like everybody kind of knew that DMCA, that just because you can do it, or because nobody were really punished before, you can just play DMCA music on stream. Everybody just said, okay, well, hey, on Twitch you can just play any music, whatever you want, because it was like kind of a gray zone, or gray area for streams to just have like any music in the background. But at some point, like the music industry kind of realized that that isn't really, or that's what's happening, so they kind of cracked down and filed, I think, some sort of takedown issue. So everybody had to kill all their sources where there's still DMCA music in it, and like if you were thinking about it, you could probably like see that was coming at some point. So I can kind of see that, for example, on YouTube there are a lot of these I've seen it in like a lot of videos. I think even like in YouTube, on big YouTube channels like Internet Historian, he does a lot of like stock footage imagery, which isn't really like he of course you can always like just use stock footage. The problem is with he's not using the stock footage that he bought, or he didn't buy the stock footage. He just uses the one with the watermark on it, which isn't really that isn't really legal. Just because there's a watermark on it doesn't mean that you can just use it in whatever you want to do, especially when it is monetized. So I've seen it not only with him, like I think I think if I remember correctly, he uses like, for example, imagery or like stock footage with watermarks on them, which of course isn't legal. And I can imagine that at some point, maybe, I don't know, iStock or whatever Adobe stock would go in there and file some sort of I don't know, maybe not lawsuit, but maybe like do the same that the music industry did to Twitch. And I kind of want to stay in, like, kind of want to stay safe when it comes to that. So, yeah, I'll have to see if that is actually legal to grab the in-game assets and use them in whatever you want to use them for your own sake, basically. I can imagine that it's not, so I kind of have to look that up first before I do anything like that. Okay, now we have the... what we're going to do for this one, of course, is going to be the same process we did for the sculpt itself, doing a base mesh first, and then we can go into more detail. So we're going to do very, very basic shapes in the beginning, and then going more and more, adding small pieces after another until we have a good, nice end result. Good thing is with this one, we're going to stay pretty, how would you call it, like, pretty smooth, pretty clean, so we don't have to put in too much detail. We're gonna do that probably in one arm just for looks. We probably can do it with this one, maybe open up, like make a small panel right there and on the lower arm, and then show some the inner workings. I think that could look really cool. But overall, we're gonna try to keep the arms, keep the silhouette of the arms pretty organic. Organic is the thing I was looking for. Like, they're still mechanical parts, but they still should look pretty organic. Although they are like hard surface, the surfaces can still look organic through very smooth surfaces, and yeah, not like a lot of cables running around or like flying around. Yeah, so what I'm going to do first is I will... oh, let's see. We can now think about the ankle. I think the most aesthetic way to do them... so you have two different use or like different looks right now, or for this sculpt. You have one where you have a pretty low rotation when it comes to the arm, so the elbow is pretty rounded. For the other one, the elbow is pretty sharp. So we kind of have to find a mix that works for both. Of course, both sides should work. Like this arm could be like bent all the way as well. So we have to kind of find a way how both of these possibilities are possible, basically. Yeah, let's see. I'm looking at my references right now. So I guess there's the possibility of just covering it, so it just looks like an arm. I kind of don't like that. I kind of like separating the lower arm from the upper arm. But maybe even keeping them connected in a certain way. Let's see. Just looking through my references that you can't see on screen right now, just to see, maybe get some inspiration. Okay. So the sphere would probably be the easiest way. What I kind of thought about would be something more like a this mechanism where you have like two U shapes that then maybe are connected through a sphere. This way you have also only... oh no, wait, you have not 180-degree rotation, but you have rotation in this direction and also rotation in this direction. So that could work really well. Let's see how that would look. What we would have to do for this... it's probably, first of all, we need a little bit more geometry. We need more than 4 faces for the individual parts. So go in here and do that. So yeah. I also started doing like making notes to possible talking points. I went through almost all of them, I think, last week. What we didn't talk about was the satisfaction of how are they called? Like a pressure water cleaner. Hold on. Pressure water cleaner. High pressure water jets. Yes, there it is. The satisfaction of using one of those, or at least seeing them being used. I've never used them myself, but I kind of want to because they look so satisfying to use. Just the way that looks like if you have this dirty surface, and then you just, it's basically like the commercials for all these cleaning utensils in the kitchen. Like, oh, if you use this sponge and put some magic cleaning solution on there, and then you wipe once over the pan, it's perfectly clean. And then it's actually kind of true for these water cleaning jets. You kind of it works similar to the eraser in Photoshop. Go over it once and there's all the dirt is gone. I think that when you look at it, like, it looks so satisfying to see. And like just this clean, perfect line of cleanliness once you go over it, I think that just looks so satisfying. So I kind of thought about that at some point, maybe getting a, like, I just wanted to use it, so I kind of was thinking about, okay, what could I clean? Where could I get a water jet cleaning device? And then just doing it once. Like, I saw there was like a whole subreddit that I saw at some point, just showing like images of before and after of using this water cleaner. Like, I really like the concept of cleaning something to then at the end see like in before and after of how it looks in the end. Like you see it's like super mossy, maybe super dirty, and then in the end it's like, it looks like as if it's like brand new. I think that's like just using like a water jet or something to clean up your porch, for example, or your driveway. I think it's just such an easy way to make your house look like super new again. And it's probably actually pretty fun to use. So I kind of was looking at some point, I was kind of just looking to like, oh, what could I clean? Where can I use this? Where can I get it? And they're just trying to do it once just to see what it feels like. Yeah, I thought about that recently, like how satisfying that is to use. So for this one, I kind of want to change the let's see, I need a better topology, so we probably have to move the vertices a little bit. Shouldn't be too bad though. What we need is one over there, one in the middle, and one over here. Maybe something like this. Let's see if that works. So yeah, there's like in the beginning of March, I did a satisfying animation, and I kind of like we kind of talked about what actually makes an animation satisfying, just like the movement and everything fits perfectly, or like yeah, basically that's basically it. Like either like combined with like sound design, making it sound really nice, basically combining it with ASMR, and then making some sort of animation that just looks very clean, very smooth, no friction, and just everything working perfectly together. That was kind of like what we concluded, what we needed to have in the sculpt, or in the animation. Which was really fun to do. I think the end result actually looked pretty cool. We did this this sphere that was kind of sliding on that railing, or like bar, and then there were these rotating plates with just one hole in them, and then right when the spheres coming, like it went straight through the hole and the plates were rotating. Of course, I said that before, I think. So they would rotate, and then the rotation would perfectly be in line with the ball so that the ball would fit right through it. Yeah, that was just was a really fun project to do. Kind of crazy how much more I work with Blender now that I started streaming. Before that, I still worked with it as well, but it was more like my second hobby. Like the first one was basically just playing games, and then I started. At some point, I started learning Blender, and then it became my second hobby. And then at some point, it kind of like there were these long phases of just nothing to do. When it comes to like games, there were like no interesting games, and I either resorted to using Blender, or when I just felt inspired and wanted to do something special in Blender, I did like a project in there. Yeah, this way it was kind of like a mix between games and Blender, but now I kind of only use Blender right now, which isn't really like a bad thing. I like it. I learn more about the program, I get better, I improve, and I can also combine it with editing videos, which is also one of the things I like to do, which is really fun. So I think it's a really cool thing that I started this, because it kind of like, that's the best thing. Like I always said to myself, like I would probably feel like kind of bad to stop gaming, but not if I would have and something that could replace it. This is kind of it. Like it can really like replace my gaming hours, I guess, with something maybe more productive, which doesn't really feel like it's like it's robbing me of time when it comes to playing games. It's just a better use of time, or I want to use the time more for stuff like this. So that was always like my thought process. Like if I want to do something different than gaming, or I want to quit gaming overall. Of course I didn't quit, I just played less, or I play less now. I want it to be something that I enjoy doing more than actually playing games. So the combination of there were no real like interesting games right now, and Blender kind of, I always wanted to do a little bit more like in Blender. So the combination of the two things were kind of good and lead to some nice results. Let me bring in 2 more cuts right there, so we have some more detail. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's just I don't know what I wanted to say. It's just like I'll probably still I'll probably always have the playing games as one of my hobbies, just because it's like perfectly, it's always been something that I like doing. It's a good change from just using Blender, because in Blender it's kind of like how would you say, like it's more technical. It's not just like fun games. It's like, it's just a little bit different when it comes to, you have to concentrate maybe a little bit more. You cannot just sit down and enjoy it. You kind of have to think about it a little bit more. You have to put some more thought into it, and playing games is just like sitting back, relaxing, and a nice change from having to concentrate all the time. And that's what games are for. Like I kind of found myself like getting to that point where it felt like I was just playing games to play games or to pass some time. Not like super crazy, but sometimes it felt like, okay, there's nothing to play, man, let's see what do we have here. Like sometimes you see, like I remember back in the day going through all my Nintendo DS games, like, okay, I have nothing really that I want to play, but what do I have in this case of all the games I have? Okay, well, let's try this one, the game I haven't played in a long time. Maybe this one is fun again. And then booting that up and trying it again. Like, oh, let's see what games we have here. Maybe something like this interesting today. Not like just trying to look for something that could be interesting. I think was kind of like it kind of felt like that, like there wasn't really much to do, so I kind of just looked for something to do, and I think now I found it, and I found the something. Good thing is, I said it before, playing games is more like passing time, not really learning anything, and Blender is more like working more with Blender. Makes me learn more stuff, of course, which also helps me for my job. I kind of want to apply for a new job, and which also implies using Blender more, hopefully, at least 3D more. So and video editing. So what I do right now is actually pretty helpful for what I want to do maybe, or what I want to do maybe in the future, in the near future. That is also why I kind of like one benefit to what I'm doing right now. I not only do it for fun, but I also get more competence in the field that I actually want to work in. So that is all good. I also thought about like maybe expanding my knowledge to game engines. So for example, I looked through the application, or like the jobs that they were looking for where I went to apply, and it said stuff like I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like 3D designer, I think it was called, which is of course very, very vague, but it was something like creating like VR worlds and creating like 3D assets and all that, not only in Blender but also having knowledge in Unity to create these VR worlds, combining the models into an actual playable like a project or like experience. And I never really looked into game game engines, how they work. They look kind of similar to how 3D programs work, just a little bit more elaborate, because of course you cannot only decide how something looks, but also how it reacts, how it's animated. You can like bring in stuff like collision objects with not only objects in the scene, but also the player itself. So that's one aspect I kind of want to look into a little bit more. Maybe at some point, maybe if I apply and they take me, I can learn a little bit more about, they hire me, I mean, I can learn a little bit more about game engines, how they work, how you use them. I think that's a good thing to learn, not only for my job there, but also for maybe the stream, maybe doing a few streams where I learn a little bit more about Unity, for example, playing around with Unity, doing a few, like maybe combining Unity with Blender, how you can combine these two to create like very quickly small scenes where you can run around in, maybe all that stuff. I think it's really, really interesting. So now you can see what I wanted to do with the ankle. I think that's a cool design, basically mitigating this like this way. You can see I'm gonna do the same what would you call this, like this joint is based off of two U's. This is the first U right there, and I'm gonna do the same the same, like another U for the upper arm, but this U will be not it's not going to be like this. It's going to be like rotated by 90 degrees, so they basically grab onto each other or cover each other. This way they don't intersect and can still rotate, but they like form a joint. Basically, that is what my plan is for these. I think that's the best, or that's a good way to kind of keep the silhouette close to the organic form, but still make it look mechanical and clean and like hard surface looking. So let's do the upper arm next. So how many faces do we have here? Or cuts? 1, 2, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10. Okay, perfect. So we need, hold on. There's a cut that should be there. Next up, what we need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we probably have to move around the vertices a little bit more, but that shouldn't be too bad. I'm just gonna bring in these two first. Yeah, just, of course, I always want to learn more. So that is a good thing. Like, that's also the reason I kind of want to move to a new, or like change my position, my job, like apply for a new job, just to expand my horizon and like learn something new. I kind of like where I work right now is more of a traditional 2D, I guess, marketing agency, which focuses more on stuff like flyers or like billboards, whatever. So they don't really have a big focus, and also not really that much knowledge when it comes to video. And I was the only one, or I am the only one that is really knowledgeable when it comes to 3D, and brought it basically into the into our repertoire. So if I'm gone, there's nobody left with 3D knowledge. That is also kind of bad, because there's nobody that I could learn from. So I kind of am looking for more, like a better opportunity to learn from something. If you have like a mentor, or maybe just something you can ask, someone you can ask, not only to give you maybe feedback, but also to get inspired from, to look at what they work on, how their workflow is. All of that is just, I think, a good way to expand your horizon when it comes to, or like expand your knowledge to a given like subject. So hold on, how many do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more. Let's put them in. Yeah, just what I'm lacking right now is just a source of knowledge. Basically, I want to expand my horizon, but there's no no vehicle that gets me to the horizon. So I was that is why I wanted to switch my my job, and yeah, overall just learning more. Because I definitely prefer digital media over digital 3D media over okay, let's say digital media overall, and then maybe specifying 3D especially, and then video as well. So the fact that we don't really do that right now, or the agency I work at doesn't really do that right now, is kind of like a holding me back, I would say. That was also like when I finished my apprenticeship at that company, one of my colleagues asked me like, okay, well, are you gonna stay here? What's your plan right now? Because he kind of like told me like, the things that you want to do we don't really do here, so I know someone that could, where you could apply to. That is also the agency that I'm going to apply now to, where you can like expand your horizon when it comes to 3D and video editing and whatever. That is probably a better job for you, or a better how do you call it, like a hold on, let me just look it up. The more I look it up, the more I look up, the more I learn. Employer, of course. That's probably a better employer for me, just because I can learn so much more there. Okay. The problem now with the model is that I have to go into the sculpt, which means I have to disable hard surface sculpting. I mean snapping, not hard surface sculpting. Let's do that real quick. Let's go in here and extrude it down. Okay. Yeah, so that is probably like one of the next steps for me to really go further when it comes to my job, career, whatever. Okay. And then yeah, I'll probably gonna stay there for a little while until I maybe want to go somewhere else, just to maybe learn a little bit more about something else. I don't know what happens. I did my apprenticeship with the agency I am right now, where I'm employed. So I stayed there for, first of all, the apprenticeship, which was 4 years long, and then I did, how long was it? 1 more year where I'm still in. It ends in August, and then I either can like sign up for a new, like a full, like another year, or I look for something else. The contract basically ends then. I only made a 1-year contract because I wasn't really sure what I'm going to do a year later. I just wanted to do some work first and then maybe think about it later. Now I'm at that point where I think about it. So yeah. Now my plan is to go somewhere else. So what I'm working on right now is an actual application. I'm gonna do not only a paper application, like a usual like written application. I'm gonna do a video showing off the stuff I did, not only on stream but also off stream. Stuff from work. I'm not quite sure what I can show from there, and overall just the work I did over the last maybe half a year or so, just the best stuff that I did, and then yeah, just seeing if they take me. They kind of look for the perfect like the job description for the one of the jobs is basically what I do, or what I was looking for. It was called, what was it called? Junior I can't remember, like junior 3D, no, junior creative director. That sounds super important, but I think it's just like someone that like the description was very very vague and pretty simple, like having knowledge in After Effects, or not After Effects, not even After Effects. After Effects wasn't really in the job description. It was more like knowing stuff like the Creative Cloud programs, Photoshop, Illustrator, whatnot, InDesign, and then having some knowledge in 3D. I don't even know if 3D was in there. but they do a lot of 3D, so I know that they use that in like that. I'm probably gonna use that at my job. Overall, I'll just having knowledge with having knowledge in basically everything I basically already do. So that's basically the perfect job for me to take now. Yeah, I just have to finish my video application I kind of wanted to put in like some effort to show that I really want to go there, be hired, and show off my skills. And I'm probably like, my plan is to also incorporate I already incorporated like a lot of the first compilation, like month 1 compilation. That is all like my plan. Finish the compilation first and then implement some of the scenes into my application. Yeah, so that is what I'm working on right now. Just the application and the compilation. I think I can re-enable snapping now. Okay. Someone, a colleague from my current job kind of told me like, okay, now that you've done like a year of just working, he like advised me to go back to uni or like study something, giving me like the advice of then you have something you have in your bag, I guess, like some sort of certificate to bring you to, or like to enable you to get higher paying jobs or whatever. But so I'm someone that considers themselves as someone that wasn't really made for school. That sounds kind of weird maybe, but I never, like, I'm someone that learns really easily through learning by doing. I don't learn very easily through learning by, I guess, studying. If I do something, first of all, I enjoy just doing it and learning by doing, which is like a good prerequisite. But also, like, I just learn way quicker. Like, doing mistakes, you don't really do mistakes if you just learn through books or whatever. You only learn what you have to do, and you don't learn what you shouldn't do. This way, you're kind of missing one part of the equation. You know what you have to do. You don't know what you can't do, which means you only learn half of it. I think I just repeated my whole sentence, but it's like, it's just like, I think just an inferior way, at least for me, to learn. Like, I just hate sitting down and studying. Of course, that is probably everyone, but if I can avoid it, I'll do it. And if I enjoy like learning by doing that much, then why would I not do it? I think some people just enjoy studying. I am definitely not one of those people, so I try to avoid it as much as possible, which is also why one of the most like one of the most happy days of my life was to finish school. Just because then afterwards I wasn't like finishing my apprenticeship, because then I didn't have to go to school like once a week, which is also like, I remember like my dad always telling me like, oh dude, once you're done with school, you're gonna look back at it and remember the good old days. But for me, it's more like, the further I get away from school, I feel like I'm in the good old, like in the good old days. I've never really looked at school as some sort of fond memory. Of course, you were like, you had way more time. You were able to hang out with your friends way more. But when it came to doing what you actually want to do, I'm not quite sure if I would agree that those are the good old days. It kind of feels more like the good old days is basically what I'm trying to build now, or what I'm in right now. I enjoy what I'm doing. I work towards enjoying even more of what I'm doing, and yeah, what else can you want? Could you want? So I don't think I'm gonna look back at it fondly at some point and think to myself, man, I wish I would still be in school. I think that is kind of like an old way of thinking. Like, it's just, I think back in the day, the thinking was more, okay, do this, like learn, and then do this job, or like learn, study, and then like apply for a job or get a job that you sort of like, and just look to get better and better to then earn as much money as possible, or like as much as you need. I don't think that is a good way of living. I don't think money should ever be the focus. Money is the worst thing you could chase, because it only distracts you from the stuff that actually makes you happy. Like money is the thing that when you get it, you actually realize that it's not that what you actually want. It's like the thing that distracts you from realizing it, but then once you get there, you see like, oh dude, why did I even chase this? Like, I think that's also why so many like prominent figures like resort to using like substances. They get to that point where they're famous and they have everything, they can get everything, and then they realize like, oh dude, I could get everything, but why? There's no reason, and I have nothing to chase now. I have nothing to aspire to, and I'm still not happy. Like, oh yeah, that's the main thing. Like, I got what I always wanted, but I'm still not happy. I still, like, so the only thing that these people were always chasing was, for example, money. That's what we're talking about right now. And once they got that money, they actually realized, like, they always thought about, okay, now that when I finally have all the money in the world, I'm gonna be happy. But they realized then, dude, money doesn't make you happy. The money is just a way of, like, it's just necessary for you to live. There has to be something else that drives you, that makes you happy, whatever that is. It's something you have to decide for yourself. That is different for everyone. Money isn't the thing. Money is just there to keep the world running, I guess. So you shouldn't, the biggest drive for you shouldn't be to get as much money as possible. That is not how you fix your marriage or fix your mental state. That is not how you like live a good life. I think it's just it's important, but it's not, it shouldn't be what you aspire to the most. And that is like probably the biggest point of frustration maybe for people, especially people that just try to get as high up in the ranks as possible, they at some point realize, dude, now I get, like, it's always like material goods. So you shouldn't actually chase something from the real world. You should rather chase something in your psyche, I guess. Like there's nothing that in the material world, I guess, that can make you happy. You could have nothing and be the happiest man alive. Like, if money wouldn't exist, like, what would you do then? Like, if money didn't exist, like, where money wasn't necessary, then you wouldn't chase the money. And the only, like, I don't know how to explain it, like, just I feel like money only distracts people from the main goal, which is living a life that you feel is fulfilling and like makes you happy. So I don't even know how we got to that point. You know what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna enable or bring in subdivision surface. This way I'm gonna make this a little bit smoother and it's gonna look more clean. Perfect. Now we can bring in some more resolution or topology to make it look a little bit better. And then we already have the base. Those are going to be this is probably also what I'm going to use for the other side. What I'm going to do first though is I will go in here, save first. I'm going to save this as a new version actually. This way I can always go back to the first state if I need to. Let's call this version 1B. No, let's call it 2A. This is the next step of this project. Let's call it 2A. Okay. And it's always like you see all these, like, you always hear like money isn't the answer, or money isn't what is it, like you hear it like all the time, like money won't make you happy and you should be happy to be healthy and be able to do what you do. But then all the people that say that still resort to the same stuff, like, look at this dude driving driving an expensive car, he must be a douche or whatever, like just like judging someone just because they have like a lot of money. I don't know. Especially from watching Dr. or Healthy Gamer GG and him talking with all these different people from different backgrounds and listening to their problems, you can really like see that money helps with nothing. If you had like a bad childhood, money won't fix that. You still have those like you still have those experiences in your head. You maybe have to cope with them. Maybe you have to hold on. You can't just buy those experiences away, or like you can't just unremember them. Welcome Athronzala, welcome back. So you're asking why when you should name a file, why you should use an underscore rather than the I guess just pause, like the space. That's usually for, so the best way to name something is to never use capitalized letters, and don't use any special like letters, whatever that may be. Only use like A to Z, 1 through like 0 to 9, and always using an underscore, just because then you minimize the risk of, if you, for example, import that that file to a different what is it? For example, from a PC to a Mac. What could happen is that the Mac has a different ASCII code, which means every PC has a list of all the letters, and all the letters have different have a special ID or number. For example, A could be 1, but then for example, on PC you could have a number system from 1 to whatever, A to Z. A is number 1, and then Z is the last letter. And then on Mac you could have Z to A, so Z is at the top and A is at the bottom, which means the letters get confused, and this could mean that the files could be corrupted. If you, of course, if you just stay with the small or uncapitalized letters and using underscore, you basically, that is basically all you can do to minimize import mistakes, I guess you could call it. So what I usually do is I always, hold on, I can show you what my namings are. Okay, let me show you what I do. Let's go to this. Oh no, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. There you go. You can see here, that's my naming. I always use uncapitalized letters, then the underscore, and then version 1b, just to always have like a that's basically the system to always go up if I want to make a new version. This way I can have a backup from a previous version. And for example, just today I started my version 2. That is like, this is the system we use for at work. If we change the A to something like B, that is an internal correction. If we change the number, that is an external correction from, for example, a client. I just took that, I guess, naming system and use it privately now as well, because I think it's a good system. But that's the naming that I do for everything basically that I create. What I mainly do is, like, if I do smaller changes, I change the letter. If I do bigger changes or go to a next step, for example, going from modeling to texturing, I would go to version 3 just to separate it a little bit. Yeah, that's how I do it. I don't use stuff like any of these, hold on, like only A to Z, and then underscore, not even point, but because that should always be at the end, and maybe plus, but I never really use plus. The only thing I do is use underscore, numbers, and the usual letters. This way you basically mitigate all the risk of corrupting your, making it as universally usable as possible. So when you never, for example, give it to someone else, then probably you can just name it whatever. There's probably like a very, very small risk that your file will be corrupted when it gets transferred to someone else's PC, whether that is an Mac, Linux, or whatever. The risk is pretty low, but it's still there, so you can mitigate it as much as possible using this. So usually what I do is I only save, like, it's probably not necessary, but the good thing is, like, for example, someone DM'd me today actually asking me what the reason could be for his file not opening. So I kind of thought about maybe what it could be. One reason could be that the file is corrupt for whatever reason. With my system, at some point I kind of just decide whether, like, when I spend like a long time on a project, I'm gonna do a backup. I'm just gonna go go from A to B. This way I always have like a backup when the second file that I'm working on right now will be corrupted. So it's just a safe way for me to still have a double backup when my file ever gets corrupted, or my my what is it? Automatic backup doesn't work. I usually only like I've been working on this like for quite a while now, but I've only done 3 different file names. Of course, the first one, then the second one I think was for combining all the different base mesh scoped pieces together, and now I'm at version 2a working on the mechanical parts. You could probably also just always work on the same file, but I just try to make it as safe as possible for myself. Okay. Looking pretty good. Let's do that for the other side as well, for the lower arm. So we have the both joints in, and then I'm probably gonna add like a sphere in the middle to connect these 2 pieces. There it is. Let's add subdivision first, then we can maybe adjust. So what I want to kind of keep in here is some sort of we could also do it so this upper arm kind of wraps around the sphere, but I think it's better to not do it like that, because then like there's supposed to be cables running through the arm, and I think if you wrap it around, it kind of probably is a little bit anatomically, mechanically worse to use it like that, I guess. So we're not going to do it like this. Okay, let's see. This is quite a big gap. I kind of want to close this. Let me just quickly fix something. There you go. There you go. Perfect. See ya. Hold on, let me quickly. Can you? Oh no, you can. Well. Oh, I guess you can just go in here. Just restart it. Hold on. Restart my chat box. Perfect. Now everything is gone, but it's better than seeing that bot message in there. Okay. Yeah, let's close up this. Like the 2 parts. They're a little bit too far away from each other. Okay. So also this can be quite asymmetrical, because this part will be, if you close your arm, of course, they will connect with each other. So I kind of have to pull this a little bit further down this side, because if I make this angle even sharper, if I don't do it, they kind of grind against each other, which hinders the movement. I kind of want to keep it real when it comes to the anatomy. I kind of like still want to make it believable. This is actually working, so we have to keep that in mind. The mechanical anatomy should still work. This is also one of the first ever times I actually did. I said that probably multiple times now, but the first time I actually do hard surface modeling. The only thing I did before was a helmet that I basically, no, it wasn't really like hard surface modeling. It was more retopology. It wasn't really hard surface modeling. The only thing I did was basically just create new geometry that was a little bit cleaner, so it looks more like hard surface, because you can't really fully clean up a sculpt to the point that is like fully smooth. I mean, you could probably if you spent enough time on it, but why would I if I can just make a new geometry, which also makes it just look cleaner and easier to use and put on textures and all that. Okay. Yeah, that naming system is from my current employer. I think it's a good system that kind of mitigates all the, oh no, all the flaws with the usual problems one could have. The good old like final version, version 2, final version, version 3. This way you don't have like an actual final version. You always like can add another version to it, but you still have a hierarchy of versions, I guess, which where you can see like the actual, I guess, history behind it. Okay, so what I said before, this part can be a little bit higher up, like this can be a more shallow U, just because the movement is a little bit, there's less like the point of connection between these two pieces is way further back, so we can pull this higher. That was probably a horrible explanation, but whatever. Of course, we still have to clean it up later. Looks pretty rough right now, but I'm just trying to put in the basic shapes right now. Not caring too much about like full perfect, I guess, topology as well as structure. Okay. So what you can see now what I'm going for, kind of like this puppet ankle way of connecting the limbs. We can still work on it some more. Of course, there's always something to work at. Work on, I mean. Work at. Yeah, I think if I see that we kind of get to a point where we have some room or some time left before we have to put in like our submission to the MSI Creator Award, so we can still take some time to finish this character, I'll probably do some small, like some quicker projects again. I kind of started like these 2 big projects, especially like the MSI Creator Award kind of prevents me right now from doing like smaller, like single stream projects, because I kind of want to estimate whether or not I need all the time or if I can actually like do other stuff as well. I think I will change the geometry because this is kind of stretchy now. This gets pretty stretchy. Well, let's think about that later. Let's define the shape first. Okay, so let's see how it moves. So if you put the sphere right there, and then we just use the 3D cursor joint option. We can then rotate it, and you can see it perfectly fits on top of each other. The arm won't move past this point anyway, but if it would, it still has some room to go back even further. I'm going to give it some thickness, of course, so it doesn't have that much room, but you can see the movement is perfect. Maybe we even need a little bit more room at the bottom right there. You can see the angle is still, or the angle is pretty shallow still. It should go all the way to up there maybe, so we still have to think about that. The topology right now gets pretty stretchy, so we have to think about how we maybe even change the topology to fix that problem. But I think that's a good structure. Let's put in the sphere now. Let's call my arm a little bit differently. Lower arm. What is it? Right side. Upper arm, left side. Perfect. What else? We need a sphere, so let's bring in a sphere. There it is. Pretty big. Make it smaller. Okay. Let's see what it looks like if we remove the sculpt. Let's see. Okay, let's save it real quick. There you go. Let's go in here first and remove the in front option, so it's not always in front. Okay, perfect. Nope, shadow should still be there. Let's hide the sculpt pieces, and there you go. That is the base for the hard surface part. There you go. This is basically the same ankle or joint type that you can see in I think mannequins or puppets. Let me quickly see if I can grab a quick image of that. Hold on. Puppets. Let's see. There are those pose, what did you call those? Pose references? No, hold on. Real pose references? No, that I'm gonna just go pose. Okay, how about pose reference puppet? Come on. No, that's not right. Oh man, what are those called? Oh, maybe I can find them. Oh, there's one. Is that the one? Oh, there's one. There it is. Oh, that's actually quite a little bit different from what I have now. Actually, it's quite actually the same. Okay, let's pull it up. Oh, of course. Go in here. Display capture. There you go. Oh, that's not the right one. There you can see it. Hold on, is there... Okay, she's... Okay, well, that's not really what I wanted. I guess we just go in here and... Oh, wait. New tab. Okay, well, that's not... That's what I wanted. So you can see right there, it's basically the same ankle. You have like this U right there, and then this U is like... There's really a U for the upper arm. They use this wheel sort of like shape or joint to combine the arm, the lower arm and the upper arm. I do more like a U shape, and then use a sphere in the middle. But that's basically what I was going for. You can see there's more of a ball, joint for the hand, and then for the shoulder you should always also have like a ball joint. Yeah, perfect. Okay, one thing we should probably do, maybe we should change the sphere to something more oval, because the lower arm is thicker than the upper arm. So something more like this. Then maybe change the rotation a little bit so it fits in there. I think that's better. Yeah. This way is still round, but it's a little bit more, like it fits a little bit more onto the two pieces. Okay. Let's see, how do we proceed from here? I guess the best way to go ahead is first of all go in here and bring back my, where are they? There's the first one. Where's the other one? The sculpted arms. There it is. Then we can apply a shrink wrap modifier to the two pieces. So well, when you use a subdivision modifier, you can see it kind of like shrinks down to actually I can't use that because this way this flap down there will be brought up again as well, so deformed in a different way that I want it to look like, so that doesn't really work. Well, we can probably just make the model a little bit wider. This way this shrink wrap actually has the same width as the original arm. Okay. So I think the next step we're gonna figure out is the topology looks kind of weird right now. Let's see if we can fix it. We can see right there, there's this point of, what would you call it? Like point of, stretch point, or how do you call it? There's a certain name for these points that are basically not made out of like they don't only connect four edges, but more than four edges. This one connects 5 edges, for example, and those pieces can really can lead to stretching in the overall topology. You kind of try to mitigate those points. So let's see if we can somehow like maybe relax the topology a little bit. I guess the best way would be to, first of all, let's do something. Let's go in here and just delete these two vertices, do the same on here. And then delete these faces. Delete the faces. There you go. What if we just... Oh, hold on. What do we have to do first? Let's bring back the vertices. Let's just make a quick ring right there. There you go. And then we can delete the faces and the vertices. Okay. Now, what if we connect these edges using the grid fill option? Oh, before we do that though, we need more geometry down there. So how many vertices do we have up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18. Okay, how many do we have here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we need 8 more. That's quite a lot. Let's see how we can fit those in. Wait, how many do we have? Can we just divide every single one of these faces? I don't think that's gonna work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, that's 20. Oh no. Yeah, I guess we'll just first put in enough. So that is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then we're gonna divide them evenly, and then we're gonna see what happens if we use the grid fill tool. I think that's the best topology we can get here. Not the one I had before, but let's see. Yeah. Okay, let's see what happens. So, moment of truth, a grid fill, closed loops unsupported. Hold on, oh, we have to use bridge edge loops. There you go. Doesn't look too bad. Not bad at all. Perfect. Now, the good thing is, if we now go in here and use the, look at this, let's say way better topology than what we had before. We have to first of all change these vertices though, they look kind of distorted. Want to make these faces even. So let's work on that. Okay. Like we talked before about games that hold back their depth, kinda. The first, like, there's also, like, there's a game that I play that is kind of like that right now. Or basically two games that I can, like, say off the top of my head that do it like this. First thing, the first game is Terraria. First of all, you just go down, or you start in this world, sandbox. And I think sandbox game are the most, the games that can do it the easiest, because you can basically, like, you have a constant progression to the next step, like whether that is like a new material or whatever. You can always work towards something new or better or like higher quality. So the first game is Terraria, and the other one is what I play right now, which is called Valheim. Very, very popular right now on Steam, where you also like it's similar to Terraria. You just see what's in front of you right now, and then once you achieve or like get everything that is in front of you, you kind of try to use the tools that you've discovered or learned, and you can basically do something new with them. For example, you in the beginning you have you have nothing, and then you collect some wood and you create a wood club to defend yourself, and an axe with stone, and then at some point you break. I can remember. I think with the stone tools and the wood tools, you can build a new workbench, which enables you to build a pickaxe, which then enables you to mine ore, which lets you create better tools and armor and all that. And this way you can, and also like stuff like buildings. This way you have like a natural progression, which leads you through the game until you reach the end. I think that is like, maybe that isn't really considered depth. It's maybe more of a natural progression. Let's see if I can maybe think about a different game that is more about progression, or like not progression, more about what would you call it? what would you call it, like depth. Can I remember a game that has more? Oh, hello Boom, welcome back. Hope your Tuesday was great. Hope you were able to enjoy it. We're working on the mechanical parts now, so we're gonna do the arm first. I built this sort of like mechanical joint now. Right now we're trying to figure out a good topology, and we're kind of talking about what we talked about basically was that money should never be, or at least in my opinion, the money should never be your main driving factor when it comes to what you pursue in life. And also that I like video games that have hidden depth. So the more you look into the game, the more you discover the actual depth of the game, which you can't really see in the beginning. That's like a cool form, or like a cool type of like mechanic in like a lot of video games, but I can't really remember one of those. Can't really come up with one right now. Usually like RPGs have that, like you start off with just a weapon, and then you can, for example, like slot some sort of gem into them, and then you can see, oh dude, if I put this gem in there you can get like +2 in attack, and then if I combine multiple gems you can create these effects that like 50% more if you do this and all that. I guess World of Warcraft could be like a good, like an example for that. But maybe World of Warcraft is probably also pretty deep from the beginning, at least if you start off now, because it's like it's been going for so long that like it's well, how would you say, like the depth can't really be can't really be hidden anymore. It's like fully, like it's too deep for it to be fully like shallow in the beginning. But that's probably a game that could be considered a shallow game in the beginning, and then a deep game the more you look into it. So I just saw something. Of course you can rotate your arm, but the problem is you don't rotate your elbow. The only thing you rotate in your upper arm, I mean your lower arm, your forearm, is the latter half. So basically how the bones in the forearm work is you have two bones that basically run parallel to each other, and one always stays still, the other one basically rotates to the other side. It rotates around the other one, which is a problem. Because right now, like, you have this slight rotation in the forearm, which leads to if this would be a mechanical arm, there would be no deformation. If you move your arm, you would deform your muscles. Your muscles are of course soft, so they can deform to the shape they need to be to do this rotation. That isn't really the case for mechanical pieces. So I'm kind of thinking about how I would want to solve this, whether or not I want to split maybe the lower arm into multiple pieces that then enable it to rotate, or I will just I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to put in a sphere at the bottom, which lets me rotate the hand can then freely rotate without the mechanical, I guess, forearm having to rotate at all. I think that's the best solution, just using a ball joint to do that. I think that's the easiest way to do it. That's also what we saw on the mannequins that we looked at. And of course mannequins can also aren't I guess bendable or like deformable. They're like rigid, so that's probably the best reference. We still have to clean up the topology a little bit more. We can see some edges, some defined edges that shouldn't really be there. The surface should be very smooth, That's one factor for that, is just that we need a little bit more topology to actually make it like smooth. But we can also see some pinching in the topology right there. These vertices are closer together, which leads to, you can see right there, now we have a very sharp edge. That is just because of the subdivision that we've put in. The closer vertices are together, when you then apply subdivision, they create these edges, which can be useful for stuff like, for example, for her. You can see if you can use that, for example, for this edge right there on the surface, just to really highlight this this edge, make it very sharp. That's where you should, for example, use very close vertices. But that is not the case for the forearm of our model. So why would we still keep it? Let's see if we can maybe clean this up a little bit. I'm kind of hesitant to put more geometry in, just because the more you put in, the less you can move it around, I guess. What I want to do first, though, is I want to make these faces probably a little bit larger, at least in here. So let's pull them down. This way we have bigger faces, which if you have bigger faces, of course, you can cover more ground. And if you especially work on the base silhouette of the arm, the base shape, it's easier to do that if you have like very big shapes. I mean, big faces that cover a lot of like surface. I think there's a way to like how would you call this? Set the separation between the vertices to an equal amount between all of them, but I don't know if that really works for this. So how about we don't do that? I guess one point of hold on. Oh, that's why it looks so weird. We probably just have to pull up or pull out this vertice right there, or these vertices. Right now it looks so flat. We pull those out, we should basically fix our problem that we had before. Okay, that's way better. Now it looks good. Okay, perfect. There's still this slight edge. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's see if it's yeah, let's pull this closer to here. Okay. Dude, it was like it was so weird. Like, I jinxed myself for today's quick sketch. I thought to myself before I started it, like, I didn't really have an idea what I wanted to do. So I just went into it without really knowing really what I had two ideas. What I wanted to do is two very rough ideas, and I just tried to wing it, kind of. So I thought to myself, oh wait, I never had a quick sculpt that went downhill and we didn't really get anything out of it. Of course we got something out of it today, but it was still like pretty rough. At least the process was pretty close. At least we got something out of it. It was not like the game, I mean the program crashed and we had nothing to show. If that would happen, I would probably just like take another 30 minutes to do another one. Yeah, but if I can like avoid it, then I will try to. Okay. Now I'm just trying to smooth out the topology to make it as future-proof as possible. Make it as smooth as possible so we can work off of it and put in some more detail and all that. If we go too early into the detail, it can be very bad for us, because the faster you go into detail, the less you can adjust, like, yeah, base shapes. I said that like multiple times probably over the course of many of my pieces. Base shapes are the most important thing, and going into detail basically means not being able to change the base shapes anymore. So really make sure that everything, consider like everything that is part of the base shape, it looks good, and then you can go into detail. Really make sure that that looks right, otherwise it can really screw up your process. I remember once doing I think the first full body sculpt that I did, I basically started by I mean, that's probably a process you could do, but I just had not enough like experience with sculpting at that point. So I just started a full body sculpt basically from a sphere, not really doing a base mesh, but rather just sculpting all the pieces together, which of course leads to failure. I at some point saw that the pose wasn't really right, or wasn't really looking correct. The problem was there wasn't the tool, the pose tool wasn't in the sculpting branch yet, which meant that I couldn't really change the arm or leg position really that easily. I had to push them, and rotating them without the pose tool was really, really difficult back in the day. So I think that is one of the few actual projects that I actually cancelled, that I didn't complete. Because I didn't have a good base. Base is everything. If you build a house, you need a good foundation. If the foundation is bad, your house is going to be struggling. So make sure that the foundation is actually good. Okay. Now I'm just moving these vertices ever so slightly, but I just really want to make sure that they're smooth and looking right. You can still see this. I guess it comes from this side, probably because of the ovalness. If we make a circle more oval, of course vertices will be closer together, which means we have these edges right there. What I want to do first though is oh, actually what I want to show now is that we've removed the stretching. There's no stretching anymore. We had these points of n-gons. They're called n-gons. Basically, usually you should have vertices with 4 connecting edges, but n-gons are vertices with everything but 4 connecting edges. So that leads to weird deformations. You can have these weird spikes, or like, how would you call that? Basically just weird deformations in your models, which can lead to some weird reflections, for example, which can screw up your whole model. So you always try to avoid n-gons as much as possible. So that's why I like changed the topology to this, what we have now. Okay. Let's see if the rotation is now like if the U is deep enough. We can just use the 3D cursor again for the rotation. Let's see. Rotating. I mean, yeah, we should probably make it way deeper. So let's do that. I don't know if we need more topology for that, because it gets pretty stretchy now. Oh, let's do it like without more geometry for now. I mean, we have to pull it so far down. Let's see. Like up to there, I guess. Let's see. We have to adjust all these vertices again. It's always like been like a I've never really interested in hard surface modeling before. I always was more interested in sculpting, because I like the process of organic modeling more. Just feels more natural to me, and just it's more interesting to me. So I never really looked into hard surface sculpting that much. I know that is way better for stuff like cars, because then you can be very technical. Cars are very technical objects, so using a very technical modeling style helps to actually like make the cars look good, I guess. So, and I at some point probably will look more into hard surface sculpting. This is one of the first attempts at doing hard surface sculpting, and it's probably pretty rough, but it's probably it'll do what I want it to do. Let's see if that works. Hopefully that is enough. Wait, how do the sculpts look? Wait, what? That doesn't really work. Okay, well, I guess the manufacturer for these dolls or these pose references just said, well, you can't go further than that, I guess, like 90 degrees. I'm not gonna be okay with that, so I'm gonna try to make it bendable and anatomically correct. 3D cursor. Yeah, that should be enough. That definitely should be enough. Perfect. So we kind of have to figure out what we do in the middle here. We could so there probably will be some cables running through. We will probably not see them from the like position I will scope them from, but there will probably be something in there. I still want to figure out where I can put the cover that shows the inner workings. I think I'm going to put that on this arm, so we don't have to think about that now. So for example, now if we go into wireframe, you can see, oh no, that's not the one I wanted. Wait, can you not see the, now maybe? Nope. Well, okay, that doesn't work. Guess not then. If we enable or apply the subdivision modifier, subdivision surface, you can see the wireframe now. that is a way better topology than what we had before. You can see the topology follows the edges, which is I guess the first rule of good topology. The topology should always define the edges. The edges or the topology shouldn't just follow, or like I mean, the edges will always define the edges. I mean, the topology will always define the edges, but to reduce stretching, they should go parallel to to the edges, which is what we kind of fixed now. Perfect. So the upper arm is pretty good. Of course, we can make it smoother, adjust it a little bit. I'm gonna do start with the upper arm. Oh yeah, we definitely have to do a few adjustments here. Yeah, I'm not gonna copy the lower arm. That will probably be more will lead to more problems than if I just change the topology for this. First of all, I'm just gonna remove all these edge loops. Maybe not this one. We can keep this one. Oh, come on. Remove yourself. There you go. But it's also like, oh, I have a good example for maybe not games, programs that have a lot of hidden depth. Blender. Hold on, I made a big mistake. Wait, why is it not working? What is going on here? Oh, I kind of... Okay, I guess we'll just do it like this. Blender. You start off with just learning the tools, and then you see, oh dude, I can make a chair now, or I can make a donut or whatever. How about I make a donut and put it into a scene with a table, and then you learn how to make a table, and then you see, oh dude, I want to learn how to make these procedural textures. Let's go into the notes. Let's learn doing procedural textures. And then, oh, I want to do even more complex procedural textures. I want to model with nodes. I want to whatever. I want to go more into depth with nodes. Oh wait, nodes aren't really my jam. How about I go into hard surface modeling? How about I go into sculpting? How about I go into rigging? How about I go whatever? You have so many different ways you can go, and all these branches lead into so much depth where you can basically always learn something new. Could be even something very, very simple like lighting or yeah, rigging and all that stuff. So I can't remember how I fixed this. I guess I can just oh, I deleted the vertices right there. Remove. Same in here. And then I need to add some more vertices to this ring up there. Oh, hold on. And then we can clean it up. So how many do we have here? I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. The same amount as the other side. So oh, I guess we can just add the cuts, I guess. How many do we have here? I guess 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Okay. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Perfect. Let's clean them up, and then we can connect them. You know, I at some point did a some sort of course where you basically like job finding course, or like so in school we had these tests that we did where you at the end get some jobs like as a recommendation. You could do this job, how about doing this job? Most of them of course don't really apply to what you like to do, but some of them do, and then you can consider doing them. But there was another one that wasn't really sponsored or like done in school. It was more like sponsored from this it isn't called city, it's called something else, but the city basically hosts this program where you can go to as a young adult or a young maybe even just a teenager, and you can get together in a group with other like-minded people, and you do a few like exercises and basically learn yourself, like get to learn yourself more, learn more about yourself. The others get to know you, and at the end you, I think, first get some professional advice from the people that basically lead that program, and you also get like suggestions from other probably other ones in the group you worked in, like the other people that you work with. That's the easiest way I can explain it right now. And like one of the things I kind of was surprised with, that more than just one person suggested, was wait, what did I get? I didn't get anything creative. I think I don't think I got anything creative. But what kind of like multiple people said was voice acting, basically. Which was kind of surprising to me, actually. I don't know, I never really considered my voice to be, at least at that point, to be like super special, I guess, or super suited for voice acting. But like at least I mean, hearing it from others kind of relieves that doubt a little bit. But it was kind of surprising to hear that, because I never really considered it before, and it's kind of like an out there like job if you compare it to other jobs. It was more like it's also like kind of an artist job, kind of. If you're a voice actor, you're more like an actor, of course, voice actor. So you're like an artist that has to like think creatively. How would you act or like voice those, I don't know, comic characters, for example? How would you voice, I don't know, these real life actors? And it definitely is an interesting job. And I think even at some point I kind of considered it, but I never really went too deep into it, because I kind of knew that I wanted to do something more visual. And yeah, so that's just one small thing that is kind of interesting to learn about myself, I guess. It's like this thing, like a lot of people maybe think, like everybody of course thinks stuff about you. Most of the time they think differently about you, but sometimes there are these, maybe not truths, but like I guess thoughts that multiple people have about yourself. And I think knowing or learning those can be a good way to maybe evolve yourself, learn about yourself, learn about how others perceive you. If it's of course just not only just one person but multiple, that kind of like hold on. Oh no. confirms basically that you actually get perceived that way from multiple people. So I think like getting to know these facts is kind of important for you. Maybe you shouldn't like just go to someone and ask them, hey dude, how do you perceive me? But maybe if you get the chance to actually learn more about how others perceive you, how you like how others think about you, I think that's a very important thing to learn, or to know. I think oftentimes we kind of think about how we get perceived by others, and maybe that's not even true. And actually like hearing from them, not only the good stuff but also the bad stuff, can probably be like a big eye-opening thing that you can like have, especially if you like value their opinion. If it's just some random person on the street and they don't like your glass or whatever, then whatever. But if it's more like someone in your family or from your friends, you probably want to actually like want them to like you, and maybe you do something that you don't even like know, or you don't even consider, which they actually don't like about you, which you can easily just change if you know that they don't like it. Yeah, I think that if you get the chance to learn more about yourself through others, that's probably a chance you should take. Okay. So we fixed the topology now. We can probably like smooth it out a little bit more, make these vertices a little bit more spread out. But overall, it looks pretty good. We can see some intersection right there. I guess we can fix that through rotation of the ball. Median point. Nope, that's the wrong one. Nope. Guess we do it like just like this. Okay. Yeah, I guess we have to adjust the topology a little bit. But I think that's a good stopping point. We set the base. We can probably just copy this to the other side as well, and then like bring in the shoulder joint as well. We're probably gonna do the first arm, like the base of the first arm first, including the hand as well, and then we're gonna go over to the other side. What we did today was we adjusted her leg. Nope, that's the wrong one. Body, there you go. We pushed her leg a little bit more to the center, so she can actually stand on it. The center of gravity is more on her foot. I think we could probably push it a little bit more to the side, but I think that should be enough to not look weird when you bring in the cloth. Yeah, we have a good base for the arm. We have a good concept for the first joint. The second joint will just be a ball joint. And then, yeah, we're gonna work on this some more tomorrow. Let's save right there. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed today's talk. Maybe today's what we did visually. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Maybe even for chatting. And if you want to see more, you can always check me out on other platforms, whatever is most comfortable for you. You can just look me up. You should find me. So yeah, you can see if you want to see more of my stuff. But yeah, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for coming. And maybe if you want to come tomorrow where we continue this, feel free. You're always welcome. Until then, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you then maybe. Bye bye.